Good Sunday evening. You're listening to Texas Time Radio with your host, Michael Berry, on News Radio 740 KTRH. We come to you every Sunday evening from 5 to 7, and you can find us on the internet at texastime.com, texastime.com, where you can sign up for our e-blast and find out about the artists we're talking to, the winery owners that we're talking to, great Texas products, all sorts of good stuff. And this week, a very, very special treat. We're talking to musician Stephen Chadwick, up-and-coming singer-songwriter, and we're talking to Paula Nelson, who you're going to learn a lot about in the next hour, and then you're going to rush out and buy her CD because she's fantastic. Paula Nelson is the daughter of Willie Nelson and Willie's third wife, Connie. Let's get right into it, Paula. I know that's the question people first want to know, but, you know, it's interesting. I've been doing my background research on you, and people go, yeah, well, that's really interesting. Her dad's Willie Nelson and all. Which is hard for me to get over that because I'm the hugest fan ever. You've never heard that before. They go, this woman is a musician in her own right. So how, you know, you have a higher hurdle than, you know, if I were to make it big. I'm just Michael Berry bum. You have to be super duper good. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, I think it comes with time and wisdom on how to handle it appropriately. When I was a kid, it made it a little bit difficult because you have to go back to school every day. But, you know, I've learned a lot from it. It's made me stronger, and I was definitely surrounded by fantastic variety of music and musicians and songwriters, so it all balances out.
I went to law school with people who, as they were kids, didn't want to be a lawyer because their dad was a lawyer. My dad wasn't. You know, I have friends who are doctors. Their parents were doctors. They were never going to do that. You know, as a kid, you're not going to do what dad does. You reject that. So how early on did you say, you know, what Dad does is kind of cool. I think I could do that?
Right after I lost my third waitress job, probably.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
not as
before.
exciting as it would seem.
No, I tried massage a little bit for a while, too, which was great. I enjoyed working with people, making people feel better, but I eventually ended up wanting to be on the table.
So how old were you? What was that point in your life, and how did you get started? Because you're not like most people. You can't just start singing, and people are going to notice.
When we were kids, my sister and I mean little kids, I was probably 7 and my sister was 4, and we would get up and sing the gospel portion with my dad in Austin, at the Austin Opry House down there, when it was all a big time for Waylon and my father.
Right.
And we'd get up and sing the Donnie and Marie segment. I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll, and we'd wear wigs. And I made my little sister be Donnie so that I could have the long black flowing wig.
Right.
And
I hope you have lots of video of this.
I'm sure. Or bad pictures, I know. So that kind of started it. And then I was around, like I said, great singers and songwriters, and so it kind of came naturally there. I would just write songs all the time. I didn't know what I was playing or what I was writing. But once in my late 20s, again, after trying some other stuff, I just came back to music naturally. Winona Judd, Bonnie Raitt were huge influences. You know.
Let's talk about some of those musical influences. We're going to get to some of your music in a moment. We're fortunate enough to have the entire band here with us. Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Chris's wife, Rita. You know, the Highwaymen, as all of us know. I mean, an amazing collaboration. And the people your father has known, from gospel to the Austin days to the movies, how does that influence the Paula Nelson we're going to hear in a minute?
Well, it gave me a wide variety of, you know, I didn't grow up just listening to one thing. You know, I went from Ray Charles to the Rolling Stones to Leon Russell to Charlie Pride. So I think I took a little from everyone that I liked.
I like it. Why don't we get a little bit of that right now? The first song we're going to ask you to sing is Little City's Last Call. Tell me a little bit about that song.
We're from Austin, Texas, and we were traveling around a lot last fall, and I missed home, so I wrote a song about our hometown in Austin, Texas, called Little City's Last Call.
And how much time do you spend traveling?
A lot, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Songwriters seem to write so much more when they're on the road. Why is that?
There's not much to do but watch exit signs go by.
You have to actually focus?
Yeah.
All right, the song is Little City's Last Call. It's written and now performed by Paula Nelson and her band. Let's hear it.
Okay. living on the town, little big town, coming home late all the time. Little city and I look at the sky, bet on the nights, recall. You can bet my midnights on the lost and found, or little city's last call tonight. Secrets beside us, shadows around us, all live here amongst us in this town. We share the nightlife, we share the bright rays, we share the bright lights in this town. You can bet by midnights all the lost and found, our little city's last call tonight. Little city by the lake, pretty city by the lake, by the way, by the way. It's little city's last call tonight. You can bet by midnight all the lost and found, our little city's last call tonight. Living on the town, little big town, coming home late all the time. You can bet by midnight all the lost and found, our little city's last call tonight. Little city's last call tonight. Little city's last call tonight.
Thank you. Thank you all. I did.
Very nice. That was Paula Nelson, Little City's Last Call. More Paula Nelson and her band background. Growing up Willie Nelson's daughter and how you make it out on the road as a singer-songwriter in 2009. You're listening to Texas Time Radio with your host, Michael Berry, ably assisted by Katie Key, the associate editor of Best in Texas Music Magazine, and the editor of the Texas Music Chart. Plenty more coming up.